My name is Janet Hetherington, and I'm the administrator of Landmark Home Healthcare Services. Thanks for giving me some of your time so I can briefly review our Code of Conduct with you. Please be aware that the code does not cover every issue that may come up. It does, however, set out some basic principles for us to follow. It is important for 3 reasons. First, it's crucial that you remember that we work with people who are vulnerable. We have to avoid doing anything that even hints at or taking unfair advantage of this. The code asks that you help us protect people we serve. Secondly, every year some of our employees lose their jobs because they fail to follow this code. In some cases, we have had to refer situations to law enforcement. We want you to know what's expected of you because we have to take actions when the standards we set aren't followed. Finally, understand that your behavior impacts all of us. We have a responsibility to protect our organization, its assets, its reputation, and its ability to continue to provide needed community services. The code applies to all of us. That includes the board of directors, management, all staff and volunteers. The board sets the mission and strategic plan for our organization. The mission is simple: helping people get and stay as independent as they can be. Every year, a strategic plan is adopted, outlining the steps that we plan to take to fulfill the mission. The board also oversees our finances, operations, and policies. The board of directors also regularly reviews program performance and my performance as administrator of Landmark Home Healthcare Services as it relates to my employment status. As management, we're responsible to make sure the board is kept informed. Once the board adopts the strategic plan, we're also responsible for putting that plan into action. We also have to make sure our policies are followed. That includes demonstrating that, when necessary, we will take actions to enforce those policies. Finally, as managers, we have a special responsibility to protect individuals who report infractions. We cannot allow the employees and others who help us stay focused to be punished for doing so. Many of you are probably asking, what's my role in all of this? We ask 4 things. Read and follow the employee handbook. It's much more detailed than the Code of Conduct and lays out what we expect. Watch out for anything that appears to create a conflict between your interest and the interests of the organization. Some examples: getting improper personal benefits as a result of your position, like a gift from a vendor or a tip from someone you're providing services to. Having an ownership interest in another business if that interest compromises or appears to compromise your loyalty to Landmark. Being employed by or serving as a director of a competitor agency. If you aren't sure, ask your supervisor. You can easily clear what you plan to do in advance to avoid conflict issues. Finally, personal use of electronic mail or telephone system is permitted. However, you should be aware that even personal messages on the company's computer or telephone system are property of the company. You can't have an expectation of personal privacy when you use these resources. Most of us have to submit reports in one form or another. It could be a formal report, or it could be visit documentation, a data entry, or even a phone call about services you're providing. Regardless, it needs to be accurate and truthful. Remember that we bill for services based on your reports, and we have to get it right. Lastly, fraud, waste, and abuse. All of us have a responsibility to fight fraud, waste, and abuse. Fraud has 2 basic categories. First involves some misstatement of financial or services information, like saying we delivered a service we actually didn't deliver. The second involves misappropriation of assets, in a word, stealing. Waste also falls into 2 basic categories: either making thoughtless or careless expenditures, or mismanaging resources, incurring unnecessary costs because of inefficient or ineffective practices. Abuse acts can include any behavior not consistent with our policy. Here are some examples: overbilling or intentionally invoicing for services that were not rendered, expending organization funds for personal use, forgery or altercation of information on documents, theft of records or property, misappropriating funds, equipment, or supplies, abuse of work time, falsifying of hours worked, or using work time for personal business, kickbacks, altering or destroying data. Sexual abuse or harassment falls into a special category. No one has authority from Landmark Home Healthcare Services to commit or allow sexual abuse. Incidents of sexual abuse or harassment need to be immediately reported. We will take appropriate action, including suspension, termination, and referral to law enforcement and regulatory agencies. Finally, we ask that you help us by reporting any potential violations of this code. We've established a number of resources to help you help us. You can report problems to your supervisors or the Human Resource Department. We train staff and managers not only to report, but to respect and protect those individuals who do report concerns. We have created an online compliance resource center to house all the organization's policy documents. Staff are able to access, review organization policies on this website. Instructions for accessing the website are included in the Code of Conduct. To help make our employees and volunteers feel safer when reporting their concerns, we have also contracted with an independent reporting service, Compliance Resource Center. The ethics line is available through the CRC when you feel you have either exhausted normal channels or are uncomfortable about bringing up an issue with your supervisor or manager. Our contract with CRC specifically guarantees your anonymity, and that's what you want. Here's how it works. The toll-free number is 855-252-7606. Concerns may also be reported on the web, and I'll give you the website address in a second. Regardless of how you choose to report, you'll be asked to describe your concern. If you wish, you can tell them how to contact you. You'll receive a report number and a PIN. You can then use their website to follow up on your report and see what actions have been taken. Here's the contact information. It is also included in the written Code of Conduct. The ethics line is available 24 hours a day, www.hotline-services.com. There are also laws protecting individuals that report problems. You should know that any attempted retaliation against an employee who either reported a concern or made a call to the ethics line in itself is a violation of the organization's policy. Thank you for your time. I hope this information is helpful to you.